You ever make a choice, feel like it was a 100% your own, but then later you kind of wonder, what actually guided my hand? We all like to think our thoughts are ours, you know? But what if they aren't? What if there's this hidden force shaping what we do, right under our very noses? Well, let's have a look at that secret.
Right. We're going to start in a place where the impossible seems to happen every single night. A place of suggestion, a bit of mystery, and yeah, a little bit of stagecraft.
Just picture it. You're the one they picked from the crowd. The lights are warm, the audience is just this sea of quiet, expectant faces. And a mentalist is there, guiding you with a gentle hand. The whole room is focused on you. It feels pretty big, pretty important.
And he's friendly, isn't he? Disarming. He'll say something like, just stand on that little point just there for me. Or turn a wee bit so we make a nice frame. It all seems so innocent. Just part of the show.
And as he's chatting away, you might notice, or more likely you don't, these tiny little things. A quick sketch of a shape in the air with his hand, the casual mention of 3 simple steps, maybe how 3 objects on a table nearby are laid out. It's all just background noise, really. You don't think much of it.
Then the moment comes. He looks you right in the eye. Think of any simple geometric shape. The choice is all yours. A circle, a square, anything at all. You feel the answer just form in your mind, clear as day. And you say it, triangle. And it feels like the most natural, obvious answer in the world. He just smiles, turns around a whiteboard, and on it, he's already drawn a perfect triangle. The crowd gasps.
It feels like he reached right into your head, but what you just experienced, that wasn't magic. It was a very well-honed psychological technique, something far more common, and in a lot of ways, much more powerful. It's called priming.
So what on earth is this invisible force? This thing that can guide our thoughts so precisely? Let's pull back the curtain on the mentalist's real secret, shall we?
Just let that sink in for a second. The seeds of our decisions, they're planted long before we're consciously aware we're even making one. In a way, our brains are always a step ahead of us, preparing our next thought before we even think it.
So here's the crucial bit. Priming is that subtle little cue that nudges your next thought. It's the whisper that sets the tone. On that stage, the number 3, the hand gestures, the layout of the objects, they were all stimuli that were silently pointing your brain toward one thing: triangle. To really get how this works, we need to look under the hood at how our brains actually make decisions, because it's not always the slow, careful process we like to imagine it is. The work of Nobel Laureate Daniel Kahneman explains this beautifully. He talks about 2 systems of thinking. Priming works on what he calls System 1, which is basically your brain's autopilot. It's your gut feeling, that instant reaction. It's fast, it's efficient, and it all happens before your slower, more deliberate System 2 brain has even had a chance to get its boots on. Fancy a go yourself? It's dead simple. Wherever you are, just say the word yellow out loud 5 times. Go on, give it a try. Yellow, 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 yellow. Right, now, as quick as you can, name a fruit. Did you say banana? If you did, well, you're not alone. By repeating yellow, you primed your brain to think about that color, making banana, a famously yellow fruit, the easiest, fastest answer for your autopilot brain to just grab. That's priming, right there in action.
Now, this isn't just a party trick or a mentalist's tool. Oh no, it's a well-documented psychological phenomenon, and it's backed by decades of research. Let's look at a few fascinating studies that show just how deep this all goes.
In one famous study, they had people read a list of words. Now, for one group, the list had words associated with old age, like wrinkle, gray, Florida. Afterwards, with no prompting at all, that group was timed walking down a hallway. And get this, they walked significantly slower than the other group. The words they read literally nudged their physical actions. And it's not just words. Physical sensations can prime us too. In another study, people who briefly held a warm cup of coffee before meeting a stranger rated that person's personality as warmer and more trustworthy, more than the ones who held a cold drink. Our physical feelings shape our social ones way more than we realize.
This one, you've almost certainly experienced this. Researchers found that when a supermarket played French music, sales of French wine shot up. And when they switched to German music, you guessed it, German wine sales went up instead. The shoppers had absolutely no idea their choices were being steered by the soundtrack.
So you see, the mentalist stage, it's not so different from the world we all live in. We are constantly being primed, nudged, and guided in ways we barely even notice. It's just the background noise of our lives. Think about the news for a second. Before you even read the first sentence of an article, the headline has already told you how to feel about it. Words like crisis or outrage prime you for fear and anger. A word like breakthrough primes you for hope. It frames the entire story before it's even been told.
Or what about this? You open up a streaming service, right? You're planning to watch a comedy. But the first thing you see is this big banner for a dark, dramatic thriller. The colors on the screen are all moody, an intense preview starts playing automatically. And all of a sudden, your mood shifts. You're not really feeling a comedy anymore. You've just been primed to choose drama.
The world is just full of these gentle little nudges, from the layout of a shop to the wording of an email. So the question isn't whether we can escape it. The real question is whether we can become aware of it.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, you can't just switch priming off. It's a fundamental part of how your brain is wired. But knowing about it? Well, that's like being let in on the mentalist's secret. You can't unsee the trick, but you can start to appreciate the technique. You begin to notice the cues, the gentle steering. And that awareness, it makes you just that little bit harder to influence. And that leaves us with one last thought, doesn't it? From the wine you bought last week to the show you're going to watch tonight, how many of those small, seemingly personal decisions were really yours to begin with? Something to think about.